So as one of the veteran leaders of this team, how are you bringing your experience to the young freshmen here?
Just showing them what Arizona basketball is about. And how Coach Lloyd, wants his ship ran, and not just not overstepping them, just showing them, what we do on a daily basis.
You guys are set to play Alabama this season. What are your thoughts going into that game?
It's definitely gonna be exciting. Got some guys over there that I still know, so treat it like a normal game. Just gonna be excited to play against those guys again.
Freshmen now on campus, what have you seen from them? What has stood out about them in this short amount of time?
They love to work. They love to get better. Very coachable. Gym rats. Can really play at a high level. Physical. They fit right in. With the system. And then we still building stuff and putting stuff in. But once we get everything, they're gonna be all very special for sure.
With a guy like Anthony Del Rosso, he's talking about how he's added weight. I think he said about 25 pounds of muscle. How have you seen that help him on the court when you guys are at practice?
Definitely, see that helping him a lot. You can feel it, in his drives, his defense. So, it's definitely helping his game in a positive, aspect. And, excited to, see, the opponent's faces, when they see he's got stronger, got bigger. So, yeah.
I mean, are you as physical at this point, being in the program as long as you have? I mean, are there still a little fine tuning, more strength you're trying to gain or anything like that off the court and the conditioning?
Definitely, always trying to get in better shape and putting on more muscle. So just working with rounds and all that stuff, and on court, trying to go as hard as I can to. It's something different about that. In game shape, we haven't really played a true game yet. So once we get a couple of those under our belt, you can really know what kind of shape you're in.
What's your first impression been of CD since he showed up?
Man, I love CD. He's a funny guy. Very talented. Can put the ball on the floor as well, and strong in the post. So excited to see what he can bring to this team.
What is it, the role for you and some of the other veterans to try to get him up to speed with the shortened timeline?
Just pull him aside and teach him the small stuff. Obviously the coaches are gonna tell him everything he needs to know, but it's kind of different from a player-to-player point of view. You're on the court, you really can tell him, maybe get to him easier than a coach probably would. So just trying to do that for him.
Is that kind of part of your role as the point guard and a veteran and all that you're maybe a bit of an on-court coach?
Yeah, yes, sir, for sure. Just making sure people, are in their spots, and if they can help me out too, I'm always available, listening as well.
I mean, you talk about your conditioning. I mean, you were already in pretty good shape last year. You played almost every crunch time, and any minute the game was on the line. I mean, did you feel, looking back at that, there were you would like to, you could push through it even better? Or, I mean, were there times where you felt a little winded, even though you're still going out there doing it? Or?
Yeah, I feel like I was in great shape last year, but it's always room for improvement. I feel like I want to feel as fresh as I did in the first half, into the second half. So just working on my my strength at this point, as long as my conditioning, having those legs fresh, in the second half as well.
There was some thought that I think during the Big 12, some of the games, depending on who was televising or something, the timeouts would be a little longer. I mean, did that help you looking back, and have you developed any strategies to kind of, get the most out of those timeouts so you stay fresh?
I really don't even notice them. Timeouts, really just listen to coach, whether he's yelling or, what message he's bringing across. But those a lot of media and different timeouts, definitely kind of, help sometimes, get your wind up, especially that first one, when you catch your second win, for sure.
How's it going? We talked about Evan as a point guard, maybe at times, but do you see Braden moving over there a lot, or you more often you think you'll be playing along with him, maybe?
So many different, variation and lineups we can go with. I definitely see Braden, handling the point guard some, and at the two guard as well. Evan's definitely going to be, at the point guard. I can also see him doing some, off the ball stuff as well. So depending on how coach wants to, adjust with the lineups, we're all flexible and, willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Any other questions?
Guys are talking, a couple guys are talking about game nights you're having, and the new games have been introduced. Apparently, anything you've been, I knew you were a big Uno guy last year, but anything you've become that you've liked in particular?
Yeah, we kind of, moved away from Uno a little bit, they tired of me winning. But we've been playing this game called, like, Mafia. It's kind of, like, hard to explain, but, like, you got to find out, like, who in the room is kind of lying almost. So, it's kind of a fun game and also a great, like, team, like, chemistry building piece. So, just doing whatever we can to, try to get bond with each other and, have fun at the same time.
Anybody particularly good at that? Like,
Addison and a lot of other players are good because, they're just natural liars. So, they're kind of good. Addison and I would say, like, Jay Cook and people like that. Yeah.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate it.